Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make the letter Z. Z for zebra, zillion. I'd like to have a zillion dollars. I think it turned out pretty good. I hope that you agree. Band-wise, it's 264 bands, and then of course when you make it, don't forget to add in different colored bands and wrap bands and things like that to make it your own, to personalize it. But we'll get started. One loom, of course, wrong end towards me. Make it blue. And then everything in this is double banded, so it'll always be 2 bands. And then if you want to start on the same pin that I start on, here's my setup down here. If we go up to the 5th pin, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th pin on the left, drop your band and cross over. Then 2 bands right on top of that. And we want cap bands on these 2 pins right here, which is going to be 2 bands wrapped around one time. Thanks. Butterfingers already. And the same thing on the other side. Like that. Then we're going to skip a pin, and then we're going to make another X starting over here on the left. So left over to the right, and then right on top of that. And then cap bands on these 2 pins again. Same thing, 2 bands wrapped around one time. Like that. Then we want to loom these out. So starting up here, go through your cap band on the right side, grab those bottom 2 bands, pull them up through, pull them all the way across the loom. Then go in through the left side, grab those 2 bottom bands, pull those up through, all the way over to the right side. And then do the same thing down below. Through the right cap band, pull it up, back across, and then through the left. Like that. Push those bands all the way down. And then we're going to go back up to this top X up here. And we're going to put 6 rows all the way around on here first. So, 2 bands, and just on this top X, 2 bands all the way around. Like that. Then we'll flip the bottom 4. Push your bands down. So that's 1 row. Mark them up here. Do another row around. 2 bands. Like that. Flip the bottom 4 all the way around. Push your bands down. And then you want to take your hook and go in through the bands in the center and kind of pull them up over the top of the pin so they aren't kind of going the wrong way. Like that. So that's 2 rows. Another row. 2 bands all the way around. Like that. Flip the bottom 4. That's 3 rows. 3 to go. 2 bands all the way around again. Like that. Flip the bottom 4. Push your bands down. Mark our row. 2 more rows to go. Flip the bottom 4 again. Push the bands down. And 1 more row. 2 bands all the way around. Like that. Flip the bottom 4. Push the bands down. And if you want to make sure how many rows you have, this right here would be a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's always one kind of hiding right at the top right here, so 6. That's what we wanted. So we'll leave that be for right now. Then we're going to come back down here to where we have our other X. Like I said, I want you to push this one all the way down to the bottom of the pins, because we're going to create another X right on top of this one. So 2 bands, and we're going to start at the pin behind where our X is now. Cross over. One on top of that. And go from this pin over to the right. And then cross on top. Then we want cap bands here again. 2 bands wrapped 1 time. We're basically going to ignore that very first X that we put on for a couple rows here. So what we're going to do is loom out the top row of X's that we just put on. So we're going to go in through the right cap band and grab the 2 bands that are just part of what we just put on. Pull those up through, bring them all the way across. Then do the same thing on the left, through the cap band, and just the 2 bands from what we just put on. Then come over to the right, grab just the 2 bands we just put on, bring those over to the left, and same thing here. Like that. So if you look through here, you should see that there isn't anything connecting our very bottom X with the top 2 X's. So now what we're going to do is do a row all the way around. So you can push these down a little bit, and this one down as much as you want, but then 2 bands all the way around our 6 pins. That. So when we go to flip, up here at the top, we do not want to flip the bottom 4 from our first X. We want to flip the middle 4, which are from the X's that we put on, and then we're going to leave the 4 bands from the row that we just put on. So the middle 4 are what we are going to flip. Same thing right here, this middle pin, and then down here on the bottom it's the bottom 4. And it's the same thing on the other side. Just the middle 4. And then the one on the bottom is just the bottom 4. Push your bands down. And we're going to do one more row just like that. So 2 bands all the way around. Like that. And then once again, you'll flip the middle 4 on the top 2 pins. and then the bottom 4 on the bottom pins. Like that. So now what we're going to do is expand this section right here. So first what we're going to do is stick our hook in through the ends, and we're just going to take the top layer bands and move them up a pin, like that. So we didn't mess with that X underneath yet. And do the same thing on the other side. So we pulled those up. And then we want to expand these 2 pins right here. So on the right, you should be able to pick up the top 2 bands and bring them back. We aren't crossing them, so this band that's on this pin comes around to this pin. And the one we left on, or the 2 bands that we left on here, they come around to this pin. So then on the other side, you're probably going to pick up all 4 bands, bring them down a pin, pick up the top 2 bands, and bring them back. And you can see that they aren't crossed, and that's what we want. So I'm going to push those down. Then we're going to do a row all the way around. So 2 bands again. Like that. So now when we flip over, we're going to flip over everything underneath the top 4 bands from the rows that we just put on. So here it'll be 4. And here in the middle now we are going to flip over that bottom X as well. So you want the 2 bands from the expanding and then the bottom 4. Same thing on the next pin. So 6 bands in total over the top, and then 4 below. Same thing on the other side, 4 on the top pin, and it'll be the 2 from expanding, and the bottom 4X. And then 4 there. So push your bands down. So now what we're going to do is unstick all of this from the pins. And don't forget that we have that other X underneath there that'll be stuck to pins as well. Just try and get that up as best you can too. That looks pretty good. So now what we need to do is we're going to divide this section into 2 because we branch off to do each side of the Z. So how we do that is we're going to take 2 bands and we're going to pull them up underneath our design right here. And we're going to hook it on one side, pull it underneath, and then hook it on the other side. Then we can complete the row on this side, and we do the same exact thing over on the other side. Pull the band underneath here and then go around the outside. You can do this with your rainbow loom hook. It is a little tight, but I just stuck it under there, snagged it. I'll put the bands on one side, pull it under, and put them on the other side. And I'm actually going to do that on the both middle pins first before I complete the rest of the rows. Because usually this is the part that could get a little annoying. Pull under, and right there. So now I have bands that go underneath. And then we'll take 2 bands and do each side. So that's one side, and then we do the same thing over here, just opposite, I guess. Like that. So we're going to flip over the bottom 4 all the way around. So 4 on the corners, 4 in here. You have to be careful because sometimes the band that we pulled underneath kind of overlaps and it makes it hard to tell which band is what. Pull those up over the top. And always see if you can unstick anything after you've done a row to get more room underneath there for your hook. So that's one row. We have 5 more to go just like that. I'm actually going to switch over to using this hook. It was a rug latch hook like this one, but the latch didn't work correctly, so I removed it and then I beat it straight like with a hammer. So this, or like a crochet hook, something that's just a little bit skinnier, longer than the Rainbow Loom hook would work much better. But like I just showed you, the Rainbow Loom hook does work, it just takes a little bit. I'm going to start our second row, so I'm pulling those bands up underneath on both sides in the middle. Like that. Then a row around the outside of each. Like that. Then flip the bottom 4 again. That. Push your bands down. Again, make sure you can unstick anything from the center. Give you a little more room under there. So that's 2, 4 more to go. Pull the band underneath. And the rows are on the outside. Like that. Flip the bottom 4. Without flipping things off. There we go. Push your bands down. Again, keep loosening things. So that's 3rd row. 3 more to go. Hook under. row around the outside. Like that. Flip the bottom 4. All the way around. Push the bands down. That's row 4. 2 more to go. Pull the bands up through the center. Row around. Like that. Flip the bottom 4. Push bands down. So that's 5. 1 more row to go. Bands under. I think at a certain point I can usually just use my fingers and go underneath and grab the bands. But of course now that you're watching, it's not going to work. Can't even feel them. Doo, doo, doo. There we go. One side, other side. And the rest of the row around each side. Like that. And then again, flip the bottom 4. Like that. Push your bands down. So now we have this. So what we're going to do is add a X in here in the center with the cap bands. So 2 bands, start on the left, go over to the right, and 2 bands right on top of that. Then the cap bands, 2 bands wrapped around one time. Like this. Then we'll loom this portion out. So go in through the cap band, grab those 2 bands that are just part of the X. You don't want to pick up the bottom 4. Pull them up and pull them across. And then do the same thing on the other side. Go through the cap band, grab the 2 bands that are just part of the X. Don't mess with the bottom 4. Pull them across. Push your bands down. Then we're going to do a row all the way around this section here. So we need to go under, still, up here, with our 2 bands, and then go around the rest. like that. Make sure you got the one underneath. Then for flipping, top one will have 4, next one down will have 8, and then 8 again. And then down here it'll be 4. It'll be the same thing on the other side. 4, 8, and 4. Push your bands down. And then we're going to reduce. We're going to reduce this pin right here, so the second one down on the left side. So come over here. You're going to go in through the top 2 bands, grab the bottom 2 bands, lift them up through, and then pull them back towards you. And then this can come off. And then on the other side, we're going to reduce the third pin down. So 1, 2, 3. And you'll go in through the top 2 bands, grab the bottom 2 bands, pull them up, pull them away from you. And you can pop these off. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of move these closer together. So I'm going to take these top bands up here and just move them down a pin. It's not totally necessary, but we do weave this end close, so it just kind of helps if they're closer to each other. And then I'll move these up. So they're still at a little diagonal, but they're together though. Like that. Push those bands down. Then we're going to do 2 rows all the way around. So go underneath, and go around, like that. And then we'll flip. The top one up here will have 4. Next one down will have 6. The reducing band, and then the 4 underneath. And then we'll have 4 right here. And on the other side, same thing. 4 on the top. 6 in the center. And 4 at the bottom. Run stuck here. Push your bands down, and we're going to do 1 more row all the way around again. So again, bands underneath, and then around, like that. Then you'll flip the bottom 4 all the way around. Like that. And stick it. Push those bands down. And then we're ready to close this off. So how we're going to do that is first we're going to close off this end. And we're just going to do that by taking our hook and sticking it in through all 4 and then pulling a slip knot band through. So I'm going to start over here. pull my hook through, and then go around the bottom. So once I have a ball on my hook, I'll take 2 bands and pull them through, both ends back on, and make a slip knot. And it's kind of even this out, squish it a little bit so it doesn't look quite so pulled. And then I'll make my slip knot tight. I'll just leave it like that for now. And then over on this side, we're going to weave this closed. That's how we're going to do that. I'm going to take my hook, go in through the bands on the right side, lift them off, come over to the left side, lift those off, and then I'm going to pull the left side through the right side. And just take your time. So once you've done that, then you go over to the right side, pick those bands up, and you pull those through the left side that were on your hook. Then go back over to the left side, and you're pulling those through the right side that are on your hook. And just be careful as you go. Then the right side. Pull those through the left side that was on your hook, and then get the last one on, like that. Then we'll take 2 bands, or 1 band, whatever your preference, and pull them through everything on your hook, both ends back on, then do a slip knot. So that's what we have right now. It's a little misshapen, we just got to fix a few things on it. So first we're going to hide our knots. So I'm going to take my hook, go up through, come up next to my knot, grab those bands, pull them inside, and keep pulling until this knot disappears. Like that. I'll have to re-hide these. Like that. Then we'll hide the other end as well. Hide those. So then what we'll need to do is just kind of adjust where the tension is in the rubber bands. Generally, let's put them both the same way. Generally what we need to do, they'll go up through here. Let's see, yeah, hook this way. Hook that row in the middle. Loosen those up a little bit. And then if I need to, if it really isn't taking shape, take your hook, go in through the back side here, come up through where this middle X is, in between here, take your hook and just grab some of that X and pull it tight. So it's just a matter of that they were loose when we did some of the banding. So like that. Then the same thing down here. Adjust as you need to. I can't decide if I like it or not. I think I'm just used to poking at things a lot. And here we have a cap band that's just a little loose. Pull that inside. Yeah. That's pretty good. But that is my sweet zany Z. There's a Z word besides zebra and zillionaire. But I hope that you enjoyed this. It wasn't too difficult for you. You might have to do a little poking to get the shape. to kind of get the tension on the bands switched to how you want it. Generally a few good tugs is all it really needs, but I think it turns out pretty fabulous. I hope that you agree. ZZ Top, that's all I think of. And I'm not that old, but I know who they are. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. If you make some of these, share them with me on my Instagram, which is at Crafting Fantastic, or on my Facebook, which is feelinspiffy. And then, of course, it would be fantastic if you subscribe to my channel so you know when I come out with new things. That way I know that I'm not talking to myself. That's always a wonder sometimes. Or how many people mute me when I'm talking. Who knows? But that's okay. But anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I will have more for you soon.